Welcome to Movie Bitches! RuPaul's Drag Race Season 1, Episode 5.
So, this was the makeover episode. The makeover challenge. Where they take people that aren't generally feminine or easily dragged and they drag them out. And usually this episode infuriates me. When you think about it. It's a cool challenge, but what seems to always happen in this episode is the person I love, who I'm rooting for, fucks it up, and the person I hate, that I want to go home, wins the challenge, and it gets them to the top 3. This happened a lot, okay?
Yeah.
Raja fucked up this challenge. Sharon fucked up this challenge. Like, it happens a lot. And then the queen that's been coasting along, that... This is my theory. Queens that are really, really original and have a very distinct style. Obviously, it's harder to do this challenge, but in a biased way, I feel.
We'll touch on that.
Oh, we'll touch on it. And so the queens that are, like, basic and can make their girls look pretty win.
Right.
And I don't like that.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I also feel like this has happened enough.
Mm-hmm.
They need to figure out what they really want out of this challenge. Because this whole, oh, you're my drag daughter, oh, we're kind of in the same family thing, it's not working great.
No.
So, like, do you just have to make them look fabulous? How about that?
Sure. Do what's best for them.
For them.
But then it's like, we're not creating, like, drag queen-ifiers, right? They're not, like, it's about them as a drag queen, not about trying to make someone else a drag queen. So I don't care if they're good at that or not.
Exactly. So, this challenge always pisses me off.
I get you.
And while it's interesting to, like, have those people on and have that that push-pull of, you know, oh, they have to teach someone who's never done this before. Like, there's aspects of the actual challenge that are interesting, but the results are the same, and I always am annoyed.
I get that.
So.
It starts off, and the mini challenge is silly.
So they bring out female...
wrestler,
boxer, bodybuilding, Krav Maga badasses. And the queens lose their minds.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So then they had like some stupid workout mini challenge where they like had to like compete and do like
punch
exercise
stuff
like,
and kick things.
Yeah.
It was funny. They were like, I'm getting my aggression out. Like they were like, fuck this or whatever.
That was fun.
And then Chanel is like, oh, I've got the vapors, I'm going to faint. And she sits on the couch, and I was like, you playing this game? You playing this game? Making Rue feel bad for you?
Oh, I'm just going to come back, and I'm going to do my best.
Chanel, are you ready?
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Like, it was so, like,
yes,
girl.
I'm gonna give it my best shot, and I hope I don't throw up.
So anyway, they have to punch, till they drop. Rebecca wins. I mean, and this always happens too, is the queen I don't like wins the mini and then gets to assign everybody their queens and tries to be shady about it, which I guess who isn't going to be shady about it?
I'm not a bitch. I'm just trying to get them all riled up.
It's always a thing. And I always don't like it.
It's always like a production, and it's always bullshit.
Yeah, it definitely feels like producers being like, let's make this happen, and it's just not that interesting to me.
No.
I always feel bad, like, because they always have this thing of like, oh, I got screwed, I'm stuck with the dud. And it's always like, that is making me uncomfortable.
My girl was a man.
So I never like that aspect of it.
Me too. I agree, because it's always just like, there's always this weird thing where they're like talking about, like, they're kind of talking shit about these people.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, but like, why can't... And usually the people that have that attitude don't do well.
Sure.
Chanel did fine, but,
well...
I mean, she was nice to her person, but then, like, on the show, like, I feel bad for that person watching it.
Yeah. I will say, Chanel softened for me in this challenge, in many regards.
Yeah.
She seemed like she relaxed.
A little bit.
She was, like, having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And just being, like, silly.
Just relax it. Okay. Feel it, and then just walk it.
Her and her girl, I mean, I think a lot of it is like, oh, Chanel, you get a doll for the week. Like, have fun. She'll do whatever you want. Make her you. And so it's like, yes.
It was like taking G.I. Joe and putting Barbie clothes on him.
And the girl was obliging. you know, and they really
Right.
got along. And so for this week, I was like, oh, you know what, Chanel, you're kind of okay. I like you.
Yeah, she had.
She was less infuriating. Where I'm like, the facade has dropped. You're less like in your head, and you're dealing with this other person. So I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So Rebecca picks like the pretty one, and you're like, oh, Rebecca. And then it turns out that her pretty one is like complaining and whiny and like not cooperating.
My dogs is barking.
Come on.
And I will say this, as much as I don't like Rebecca, she was like, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Do it by yourself right now.
Again?
Up and down. I'm giving her tough love.
She's like, you walk down that runway, no, do it again. I don't want to hear you complain. And I was like, you know what, girl?
Yeah.
You're working it out.
Yeah.
I still don't think you're particularly fabulous, but you know what? You're sticking to your guns. So that happened.
Rebecca took a very mommy dearest Joan Crawford approach to Temple.
So Chanel
Yes.
started to make a lot of sense in this episode. And I was like, is this some Stockholm Syndrome shit? Because I'm agreeing with Chanel on a lot of
lot of
points.
things.
What is happening? So, because I don't like this challenge.
Okay. Wait, do you like this challenge, though?
I don't particularly like this challenge. I was trying to think of like, ooh, what could be better?
Okay.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
so like,
I'm
and I started to think about on America's Next Top Model, they have Makeover Week where Tyra, have you watched it? Tyra, it used to be more like normal, but Tyra will give all of the models makeovers, and so they have to like shave half their head, or you have no eyebrows, or your hair's teal now, and like, oh, you're gonna have a mohawk, and like it's like become.
I feel like I have seen that episode.
It's become insane, and inevitably someone is in tears and is very upset. And so I think it would actually be an interesting challenge to have Rue assign each queen. Like, I think,
like a thing.
I haven't seen this from you, and that's what I want to see if you can do. Do this. And have it, each of them do their own challenge.
I like
in
that.
the same challenge. And then it's still kind of a makeover, because they're making themselves over.
Right.
I think that would be interesting.
Oh my god. So they're doing their makeup, and they cut to Rebecca.
She was like orange.
Orange,
She looked like
but she
Coco.
had like a blonde mustache.
Maybe she was bleaching it?
I don't know, but it was like, I don't know, she looked like the Lorax. Yeah, she just does.
Maybe it was like a blending thing.
Oh, maybe.
You know, like it was cooking. And then
What happened with the orange? I don't know. Well, she always looks orange.
it was like a Coco Montrese Cheeto moment. It was pretty severe. We get to the runway. Lucy Lawless is the guest. I was like, yes, Lucy Lawless, I love you. It was very fabulous to see her. I love her.
Yeah. Oh my god.
great.
I miss Xena, Warrior Princess.
I used to love that show.
Oh my god.
And
Love.
I also used to love Hercules too.
I didn't watch her.
Remember Jack of All Trades?
No.
It was like Bruce Campbell. It was good. I miss cheese bally, like.
That's why I like Once Upon a Time. I mean, it's not the same.
Right.
But like, it's enough. Like, it's
silly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's why I watch any show on Sci-Fi anymore. So the looks this week were. So, first, Phoebe.
I thought she made it work. I thought she did a really good job.
I was very confused by their criticism of Phoebe this week.
I wasn't. I will say it wasn't necessarily cohesive in that it was like, oh, this is your.
It was like, I'm a culture and you're a culture. Like, okay.
We've seen a lot of different things from Bibi, although I guess it is typically African.
Yeah, there's some animal print or fur or some sort of animalistic, you know,
and
thing going on.
That's true, and her girl didn't really have any of that.
No, I mean, she was like Arabian Nights.
Right.
She looked like Jasmine.
So, I think they were too harsh on her makeup.
Yeah, they were like,
because they were like, you put too much makeup on her. She's pretty. And it's like, well, this is drag. What? You told me to make her look like me.
Like a drag queen. Not like a pretty woman.
Yeah.
Like not like just like I'm a pretty lady.
Right, I'm not doing her makeup at Macy's. I'm like...
This is the makeup counter at Macy's.
This is drag. The next was Chanel. And of course she was wearing like a, you know...
It was like diamond-studded Elvira.
Yeah.
Fabulousness.
Yep.
Like stripper Morticia, you know? It was great. I actually loved this look. And then her girl was like some S&M diamond studded. It looked like the VHS cover to Exit to Eden. Remember that movie? So, like, I never saw it as a kid, but, like, I remember the VHS tape because basically Rosie O'Donnell and Dan Aykroyd, two people you generally don't think of as sexy, are in, like, full S&M, like, hey, on the cover. They're each like, hey.
My goodness.
And, like, for whatever reason, it really stuck in my head. I'm gonna show you the cover, and you're gonna be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Nailed it.
She looked much better without the neck piece. When they made her take it off.
I'm generally a fan of no
I hate it, especially it was so chunky.
You know, neck.
Maybe a choker, maybe, if it's like a 90s challenge.
Or just give her, like, a dog collar.
Give her a dog collar and a leash.
Have her fucking crawl down the aisle as you hold her. I mean, that's basically what Chanel did.
Fabulous would that have been?
It would have been amazing. She's my pet. Leave me alone. I mean, that would have been so Chanel. Like, that would have been Chanel the way they want Chanel.
Yes.
Like, own your crazy ego and just be like, I'm living for this.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Great.
So, Nene Leakes.
Nene Leakes makes a shocking appearance before anyone knew who she was. You want to try that one again?
Nina Flowers.
This is where I really have an axe to grind.
Yep. So Nina Flowers, fabulous. Shocker. Fucking fabulous. Her and her girl both have, like, afro mohawks. The things that she does with hair.
They're like perm mohawks.
Permed mohawks. It's just so beyond fabulous. Her girl was, like, living.
Right?
She was like, what do you want? My name is Elvira. Like, she was very, like...
I was waiting for her to be in Pussy Riot.
Yes.
Because she's, like, this Russian, like, 7-foot-tall girl.
Just, like, fabulous.
Who just seems like she doesn't give a fuck. And she will kill you.
She'll clock you.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So she was wearing it was like a halter floral. It was
fine.
fairly basic, but, like, it kind of worked with the vibe she was giving. Yes. Like, she was owning the look.
Totally.
And then Nina was like evil vampire witch. She kind of had a, like, you know, an Interview with the Vampire when Kirsten Dunst, your look tells me you don't know what I'm talking about. Kirsten Dunst, like, when she turns evil, her hair gets, like, extra curly, and then she's like, it was like her, but, you know, like an adult, if she ever aged, because she doesn't, if you've seen the movie. So anyway, it was kind of like that.
She was definitely giving me some, like, Dracula realness. She was fabulous.
Fabulous.
Her girl was fabulous.
Fabulous.
And, more to the point, she specifically did exactly what they asked. Make this woman look like you in drag.
They were like, oh, I don't know. She just, like, looks too much like you, and, like, it's not working for her. And I was like...
That's not my problem.
You told me to take my drag persona and put it on a different person.
Does she look fierce?
And what you're saying is she looks too much like my drag persona.
She looks too much like you.
What?
You know, Mia looked like a drag queen.
Yeah, everybody else looked like a woman.
I was so confused. That's why, I mean, again, I'm a broken record, but with this challenge, I'm like, what did you want?
What did you want?
You wanted to just make a pretty girl.
And you should have just said, today's challenge is to feminize the fuck out of these butch queens.
Then it would have made more sense.
And it would have been boring.
It would have been real boring.
Nina should have won this challenge.
100%. Ongina.
I thought she did a good job. You know, I mean, she dressed her like Ongina. She looked pretty.
Yeah.
Maybe her makeup wasn't like Ongina's.
I didn't love either of the looks.
No.
The girl is wearing, like, a heavy skirt. Long to the floor skirt. Sort of take on a tuxedo. And then the top was like a halter tuxedo.
It was like a sweetheart.
Top. Kind of like in Flashdance when she just has just the, you know, dicky of the tuxedo top.
Ah.
Like, it's like, and you could, like, see her side boob. Like, kind of like that, but, like, not as fabulous. Like, then do Flashdance. Like, if that's a thing, then just do Flashdance. And then Ongina was, you know, wearing, like, loose trousers.
It was like a jumpsuit thing.
With, again, like a halter. I feel like people don't know how to sew, so they just, I'll make a halter.
I guess.
I wasn't really into these looks.
It
looked a little cobbled.
Sure.
Together.
Sure.
to moi.
Here's what pissed me off.
Yeah. But again, still was a concept that translated.
Sure.
I just didn't like the fashion very much.
Sure. I think the judges could have read her for a lot of things.
Sure.
What Rue read her for, however, was that she talked about how it was like a gender bending.
Because it was a masculine feminine challenge, I wanted to be the more masculine one.
It's not really a feminine masculine challenge.
Isn't it?
Oh, isn't it all, Rue? Aren't we all born naked and the rest is drag?
Clock her for the look.
Sure.
Because it looks messy.
But don't get on her on like, I mean...
You misunderstood the challenge? No, she didn't really.
Not really. She just had like a twist on it that she thought was...
I feel like Ongina's drag persona has more gender bending than a lot of other drag
Sure, because she looks often like a little boy.
Yeah.
Who also looks like a woman.
Yes. It's a lot. It's a man pretending to be a woman, pretending to be a man. Rebecca.
Last but least. Rebecca Glasscock.
Accurate statement. So Rebecca made a twin.
The same dress, literally.
This is, again, the concept of this challenge is confusing to me because I feel like this happens a lot where it's like, oh, I just put us in the same dress.
And the same shitty wig.
Like, so is the challenge then to make a twin? Because for me, the challenge is make a mother a daughter, or to make...
Which in that case, though, makes me even more angry about Bibi Zahara Benet. Because I feel like then she did it perfectly, where it's like someone in her image playing to their own strengths.
Yeah.
Right? She looked at this woman and she said, look, I can't make her look African, but she does look Middle Eastern, and I can use my flair and my thing to pass it on.
My whole thing is culture.
Yeah.
My culture, my...
Yeah.
The other.
So I feel like then she did the best job.
It was just so annoying to me that it was like, oh, I'm going to make two of the same dress. That's more creative than what Nina did.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Rebecca doesn't have a personality. Rebecca doesn't have... Like, who is Rebecca Glasscock? As a drag queen...
She's like a pretty... You know, pretty girl.
So she did that.
Your girl fighter looked pretty and real. In other words, the perfect translation of your drag persona. You are the winner of this challenge.
It's basic bullshit, and it got rewarded, and I think it's unacceptable. Honestly.
I mean, we all know that Rebecca should have gone home last week, so...
Yes. As Chanel will tell you.
Oh my god, that was amazing!
Rebecca deserved to go home. Completely.
Ooh, I'd love to see what Jade would have done with this challenge. I feel like Jade could have won this challenge.
Probably. They also had to then, which was really weird, they had to have the butch queens, the butch women,
yes,
learn a lip sync to Beyonce's Freakum dress. What was really weird about it was that the women were doing it on their own.
It was so weird. One at a time, you were going to come up, even though you've never done this before, and perform. It was so weird.
Well, again, they paid money for this song.
Right? And it was like, okay, well, they're not very good at lip syncing, so...
Yeah, I was like, this is boring.
Well, I feel like that was a real late, like, oh, let's do this too. You know, like, I feel like that was a last-minute decision, but then ultimately it had nothing to do with
anything.
Decision-making.
Oh, no, I don't.
Like, I think it was like, anyway, that happened.
Yeah.
So Rebecca wins. We've already said our piece on that situation. And Ongina and Bibi are on the bottom.
Which is just crazy talk.
Crazy bananas. It should have been Bibi and Rebecca. They should have been like, Rebecca, you're basic.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I should have kicked you off last week.
So Bibi and Ongina lip sync to Stronger by Britney Spears. Again.
More money.
Paid for that shit.
This lip sync was fascinating to me.
It was.
Because Ongina had it. But then, and I think maybe this is the way they edited it, or who knows, but like, Ongina like takes her hat off.
Yeah.
And it like sparks something in Bibi.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh shit, I gotta play harder. And she
Bibi
just turns it
up to 11. Like, she
turned it out.
And she started like headbanging, and then her wig falls off, and then they show like the roadkill wig on the runway, and I was like, yes, this is happening. BB just like lost her mind on the runway.
Really
like,
just,
she was just
and
like,
Ru said, she's like, you like demonstrated a hunger.
Yeah. I mean, literally, she was like,
This decision is too difficult. I need a moment alone.
Like, wait, can we just add an extra episode?
Yeah, can we just like keep them both? Is that cool? Ongina could have made it to the top 3.
She really could have.
Could you imagine Anina, BB, Ongina top 3? Oh, geez.
That's what it should have been.
I mean, 100%.
Crazy fucking bonkers banana pants.
I mean, Ru even says it. She's like, Ongina, baby, I thought you were going to make it to the end. And I was like, how did this happen? How did we let this happen?
How did we let this happen? It's a rigged system, April.
Gotta look at those emails. You're gonna find the truth in those emails.
WikiLeaks is gonna come out and be like, you guys, RuPaul conspired. Rebecca Glasscock paid him the 20 grand because they didn't have the money to pay the winner.
She had the prize money in her pocket.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, this challenge baffles me.
This isn't like RuPaul's best, like, protege race.
No, this is not Drag U, which we all know
didn't work.
Didn't work out great. The reason I don't like this challenge is why I didn't love Drag U.
Sure.
Because it's like, and that's rough because I love a makeover. I'm on board for a good makeover.
I am too.
But this, I need a clear concept for what you want from me.
Yep. Here is to the
Here's
final
to
4.
Ongina.
Oh, Ongina. Here.
Fuck that
Here's
noise.
to Ongina. A very tabulous
fabulous drag queen.
A very tabulous, talented drag queen. Ongina.
Ongina.
I wish we had hats.